it shows you the way we're supposed to live.
Okay.
But the prophecy proves you what God exists. Because who would know thousands of years ago of the things which will happen right now in our generation or generations before us by the reader reading and understanding prophecy. That's why it's so important about reading Daniel, Revelation, is Isaiah, because in there you will see how God predicted certain things, and then you go back into the history books and you find out those exact facts, what's happened. So then all of a sudden person start asking the question, how would they know? How would they know? And then you go back to the Daniel 2, when Daniel came to Nebuchadnezzar and was pretty much put in a position where he had to pray to the God who knew all mysteries.
Yes.
And that's where the whole point is. He's going to require you to pray. To get to know the mysteries of God, we'll have to separate a lot of information. The best filter, which I found in the Bible, found in Isaiah 8:20, it talks to the law and to the testimony. If it doesn't speak according to that word, there's no lights in them.
What text was that from?
Isaiah 8:20.
Let's turn to Isaiah 8:20 and see. Now, this Bible I have is a narrative Bible.
Okay.
And some people say, well, it's not the Bible. But how do you translate the Bible? It's, I have a Bible that's got 26 different translations. What was that? Isaiah
8:20.
8:20.
Chapter 20.
Okay. It says, you need to pay attention to the law and the testimonies God has given you. If anyone speaks contrary to these, it is because that person has no light in him.
Okay.
So that's saying the same thing.
Exactly.
Right?
So pretty much, but you gotta really pay attention to the Bible, because I found many places, especially, sorry guys, I love the New International Version, but no, I don't anymore, because I found what's in Acts, it's 8:37, I think. The whole verse is gone, just totally gone, and then that verse says, "What Jesus is Son of God." So hold on, somebody took it out from the Bible, the verse which identifies Christ as the Son of God. So who do they want you to believe? Who is Christ? Is that an angel? Somebody came for God and bared all the sins, and really God didn't do nothing to you but through his angel for you. What a big sacrifice he made. Whereas the reality is his own begotten Son was killed for you.
That's right.
I mean, that's a satanic and demonic belief. And I cannot stress enough about the secret societies, which was devil worshippers. There's nothing good about them at all, because they worship devil, and of course devil buy everybody with money. They worship money. The love of the money is the root of all evil. A lot of people don't want to believe the truth because they expect, if you're a believer, you're supposed to live luxury life and everything's supposed to be great. Really, I don't really know about too many prophets or some godly really people who really lived, with the BMWs and everything else, or some kind of special horses. They was very humble people. God provided to them. They were not in need. Just because He's our Father, He'll make sure He provided. But I don't think it's just made for our luxury. So we would have to, use our godliness to gain more gains on abusing a poor.
Well, yeah, and there's some truth behind that, because that's why the Bible text is, what profited a man to gain the whole world and lose his own soul. The thing is that when if you're not careful, you may not even gain the whole world and lose your own soul. You may not gain but a little bit, because you may be focused on trying to gain the whole world, and your focus will be away from the Word of God. So basically, what I guess I'm trying to bring out a point today is that there's signs of this Jesus Christ coming again, and I was going to see
Matthew 24 is one of the really good ones, which explains.
Matthew 24.
Matthew 24, guys, keep reading it and keep reading it, because it's just going to open up your eyes to everything what's happening. Also, you got to pay attention to Daniel 11 from chapter 40, the things what's happening right now with Egypt, with Libya. The next things is pretty much Ethiopia and the Saudi Arabia. And after that, that's it. Then is the Michael already stands up and protects his people. This is too late. People need to know what the seal of God is. Because if you have no seal of God, or you have no idea, your worthless churches did not teach you about what is this seal of God, you just need to rethink it, everything you know. Because if you have no seal of God or do not understand what the seal of God is, run from that church. Ask that pastor, he cannot answer you, run from that church.
Well, what is the seal of God? What are you talking about?
Seal of God. I kind of want to keep it till the end.
Well, I mean,
I will tell. I tell people all the time for free. But the seal of God is very interesting because in the Revelation 14...
What does the seal, first of all, have in it that makes it?
The seal usually has three things in it. It has somebody's name, somebody's title, and somebody's territory. We have an example in the Bible of the King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon.
Right.
Okay, so then you have Pilate, governor of Judea. You know, you have many samples of somebody going to have a name, then his title, and then the territory it goes about. So God's seal would have exactly the same thing. He would have his name, then who he is,
right,
and his title, and then who it goes around. And the only place where you can find that is actually in one commandment, which starts with word remember, and I bet you don't even remember that. It's funny if you don't remember the fourth commandment, which starts with word remember.
Why does that one talk about a seal?
Because in that commandment, it speaks about the Lord who made heavens and earth. It talks about his name, his title, made creator, heavens and earth. It identifies if you keep the Sabbath, the one he actually appointed you, not the worthless Sunday.
Well, wait a minute.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm not apologizing for the truth. I can't. Okay. There is absolutely not even one verse, and I'm still betting right now. Well, I got this phone. I'll bet that one. If anybody can show me one verse in the Bible, it says you should go to church on Sunday, I will give you this phone and I'll pay all the bill.
Oh man!
Okay, so keep looking, man. I never lost a bet yet. And tell your pastors it's also the same things. Or actually, you know what did to my house?
What's so special about Sunday then?
Sunday? It's the first day of the week.
Isn't it a seal? I mean,
how is it could be a seal when it's not even mentioned in the Bible as a special day? Jesus Christ was resurrected on the morning of the first day of the week.
Yeah, you know,
that's it. You can find in every chapter of the Gospels, in the last chapters of the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke. I think John is the one before the end.
Okay.
And it says what the Mary Magdalene run on the Sunday morning to see where is the Lord there, and the door was open, and the angels meet them and say, "You ain't looking here. He's resurrected. He resurrected on the first day of the week." So people knows he died on Friday, on the preparation day. So right before the sundown, just like the Sabbath begins, and he said, "I've finished." Then the whole Sabbath he stayed in the grave. So God himself wouldn't resurrect his own son on the Sabbath? I mean, are you going to ignore that? And then he resurrects him on the first day of the week because that's when you're supposed to go to work. And so, and the Sabbath is all about work. Not everybody say, "Oh, I worship Jesus 7 days a week." Well, if you're worshiping and keeping Sabbath 7 days a week, then you're lazy. then you can't do that. It says 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the 7th day you should rest. Just like God did it. Why did he create the Sabbath?
Okay. Well, now, let me ask this question here. Okay. So, in other words, when you're talking about the seal of God is found in
the middle of His law, in one commandment which has the word holy, and it talks about the Lord who made heavens and earth. And if you remember the Sabbath day, you're identifying who do you worship. I want to make sure I know, and the things I do, not just believe, the things I do actually identifies me what I do, worship to the true Creator. If I don't worship on that day, well, hold on, let's talk on this one. Is there a difference between if I'll steal a penny or $1 billion?
Yeah, it's a lot of difference. If
How?
I go to jail for sure if I get caught with $1 billion.
So now you got a loophole in there. But in God's eye, there's a difference between you stole a penny or $1 billion.
Oh, well, in God's sight, no.
No. So it doesn't matter which commandments you break, it's no different. So now let's put this way. If, let's say, I would go and kill a person every week, or don't pretty much worship God on Sabbath, what's the difference?
It seems like it. Okay.
There's no difference in the eyes of God. So do you see how important it is?
Yeah.
And somebody don't want to teach you about it? If they don't want to teach you about it, what are you there? Why?
Well, you have a point there. When I was in the gold business, and by the way, gold is up so high right now, but we used to repair chains, and a chain was only as good as its weakest link.
Yes.
And so you'd have a perfect chain, and sometimes they would manufacture chains, and they wouldn't solder the ends. And so it was my job to tell my boss not to buy that type of chain because people would be breaking it all the time and they had no substance to the link. So the Ten Commandments kind of work the same way. If you break one, then it's incomplete.
10 Commandments will not help you if you don't believe in God, because Jesus Christ says, if you love me, keep my commandments. He didn't say keep my commandments, then I'll see you love me. No. First, we believe.
Okay, so that's